Good morning, my students. In this video, we'll revise together our grammar homework on the past continuous. Let's begin. The first part will choose the correct answer. I TV at 8 o'clock yesterday evening. So here he gives me specific time in the past. So I have to say was watching because he didn't say yesterday only. He said at 8 o'clock and evening. So he gives me specific time in the past. That's why I use the past continuous and not the past simple. Okay, the next one, I all day yesterday. So it takes time. It's not yesterday only. So I was painting all day yesterday. They, the whole time, they were together. So it's continuous. This is continuous of action. The whole time, all of the time they were together. So they were quarreling. Quarreling means to fight. So they were fighting or they were quarreling. The whole time they were together. Yesterday at 11:45 p.m. So this is specific time in the past. So he was sleeping. You still working at 7 p.m. last night? Sorry. So I say, were you still working at 7 p.m. last night? Then why he having lunch at 4 p.m.? I'm speaking about the past. So why was he having lunch at 4 p.m.? Was he not doing his homework? I can't put with was the verb in the past. It should be in the past continuous. At 11:30 a.m. today, so it's an action that happened at specific time today. It already happened, but it takes time. I was driving to work. Excuse me, sir. Can you tell us what you at 11 o'clock last night? So I give specific time in the past. So can you tell us what you were doing at 11 o'clock last night? At 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, we were, yes, very good, we were traveling to the airport. Okay, in this part, we will do the rewrite the following sentences. They made their beds yesterday. So I said yesterday only. So that's why I put the verb in the past simple. I said they made, not making. So if I turned it at 9 o'clock yesterday, so I have to say they were making their beds at 9 o'clock yesterday. Number 2, we were to music all the day. So I have to say we were listening to music all the day. Yes, I was eating when my father came. So I want to change it into question. So I'll tell him because I have yes, so I'll make a yes or no question. I'll say, were you eating when your father came? This is a question, so I have to turn I into you and my into your. She was reading to enjoy her time. So I ask about with the why. When I make a question, as we said before, we have to put the helping verb before the subject. So I have to say, why was she reading? I was cleaning the house yesterday at 10. I want to change it into negative. So negative, I put not. The negative of was is what wasn't very good. So I wasn't cleaning the house yesterday at 10. He washed his car. So he did it already. But if I say yesterday morning, I give specific time in the past, I have to say he was washing his car yesterday morning. John were reading yesterday at 6. What's the mistake here? Of course, John takes was, not were. So I have to say John was reading at, John was reading yesterday at 6. Were you talking on the phone? I want to use she. So if I turn you into she, I have to put was instead of were. So was she talking on the phone? Okay. In this exercise, we'll complete the sentences with when or while. The first one, Penny came home. I was watching the horror film. So the first action interrupted the other, the second. So I can't say when because when make interruption. So I'll say Penny came home while I was watching the horror film because it's after a while I have a continuous or the action that takes time. Number 2, the boys were sleeping, the dog was barking. There is no interruption, so I put also while. So the boys were sleeping while the dog was barking. So there is no interruption. Then Mr. Brown walked into the classroom. Yes, very good. While Kim was telling us a joke. Because after a while I put the past continuous originally. B hurt her arm. Yes, very good. When she was 12. I can't say while she was 12. Okay. We were watching a musical performance. Our parents came home. So came home means they interrupted us. We stopped watching it. So when our parents came home. I was reading. My friends arrived. So it's an interrupted action. So when my friends arrived. Here we will underline the correct words between brackets. Number 1, yesterday, the mountain from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. There is continuous of the action. So they were climbing. What of yesterday? What were you thinking of yesterday? I don't have did you think because were you thinking? When I put thinking in the gerund means that I think. I think in my mind. But if I put it in the past simple, it means that what do you mean? What did you think of this word? What do you mean of this word? She to music all day long yesterday. So there is continuous. She was listening. It was my friend's birthday party. We were singing and dancing. Continuous of actions. As the lava was flowing down the mountain, fires started. So was flowing, it takes time to flow. It continues to flow. And as we said, as or just as, like while, exactly like while with the same meaning. While they football, it rained. So while they were playing football, it rained. I saw an accident while I was walking home. So I was walking home and then I interrupted by seeing an accident. So I saw, this is the interrupted action and this is the continuous action while I was walking home. My mother while I was doing my homework. So I was doing my homework and then my mother called me. So it will interrupt me. I'll stop to answer my mother and then I'll do my homework again. So my mother called while I was doing my homework. While I was watching TV, my mother was cooking dinner. There is no interrupted action. Parallel action. I was watching TV and my mother was cooking. No one interrupted the other. No one stopped the other. I snake while I was walking in the park. So I stopped. I saw a snake while I was walking in the park. In this part, we will rewrite the following sentences using the words in brackets. For example, number 1, she was cooking. The doorbell rang. I have while. While here is capital. So I have to begin with it at the beginning. I put it at the beginning of the sentence. So I have to say while she was cooking, comma, the doorbell rang. As I told you before, when you put while at the beginning, you have to put comma in the middle. So while she was cooking, the action that take time, what happened, comma, the interrupted action, the doorbell rang. The light went out, we were having dinner. I want to put while here, but it's small here. So I have to put it in the middle. So I put the interrupted action before it. The light went out while we were having dinner. I'm playing a game of chess all at the moment, so that's why I put it in the present continuous. I'm speaking about what I'm doing now. But if I say all day long yesterday, so I have to say I was playing a game of chess all day long yesterday. A cow was eating grass yesterday, so I have to ask with when. So I'll say, when was a cow eating grass? I was staying at home, the phone rang. When is small, so I have to put it in the middle. I was staying at home. Where is the interrupted action? When the phone rang. Then they were having tea while some guests arrived. I have to correct the mistakes. So they were having tea when the guests arrived or some guests arrived. So I have to put after while past continuous. So while I was playing football, comma, Ali was watching me because they are parallel action, no one interrupted the other. Okay. Then while mom was shopping, my sister was, yes, very good. It should be sleeping. Also, they are parallel actions. I was swimming. My family was sitting on the beach. I have to put while at the beginning. So while I was swimming, my family was sitting on the beach. Or I can say, while my family was sitting on the beach, I was swimming. But don't forget to put the comma in the middle. I was doing my homework. My father came. I put when small, I have to put it in the middle. So I have to say I was doing my homework when my father came. Interrupted action. The doorbell rang. Sarah opened the door. So I have to put when. So what happened first? Sarah opened the door. When the doorbell rang. I can't say the doorbell rang when Sarah opened the door. What happened first? She opened the door when she heard the doorbell. I was cooking, the doorbell rang. I have to put while at the beginning, it's capital. So while I was cooking, comma, the doorbell rang. I saw an accident while I was going to school. I want to put when at the beginning. So I have to bring the interrupted action at the beginning. When I saw an accident, comma, I was going to school. They were dancing to music. They heard a loud crash. I want to put while capital, so at the beginning. While they were dancing to music, comma, they heard a loud crash. Thank you, my students. I hope you enjoyed this revision.